Okay, so good morning to all of you. Topic that we have today is the commerce, and in the revision classes, we are doing the second class for the revision of first chapter, which was the classification of human activities into economic activities and non-economic activities. The topic that we have covered in the last class was the meaning of human activity. We discussed about whatever the human does, for example, from waking up till sleeping, or by applying his physical force or mental force, for example, they all are human activity. And second thing we have discussed about that what was the classification of human activity based upon some scholars or based upon the nature of acquiring wealth or increasing wealth. So on the basis of acquiring wealth and earning money or earning wealth, for example, we have differentiated all activities into two separate categories. The first was the economic activities, second was the non-economic activities, and we have discussed the features or you can say the definitions of these two activities. So what topic we have today is topic number 3, that is the definition and the features of economic activities. Then we'll discuss about the difference between economic activities and non-economic activities, and we'll move on to next topic, that is the types or the more classification or sub-classification of economic activities into business, profession and employment. So we'll just move on topic one by one. You guys have the PDF with you people. So we'll discuss the class now. So for that, we'll again recap or revise the meaning and definitions of these activities. So first, we have the economic activities. Make sure these activities are done in order to acquire wealth or earn economic profit. And while doing these activities, what we do, either we manufacture, either we produce, either we exchange, either we distribute the goods and services, then only we can acquire wealth. So while defining the economic activities, make sure you also mention that what kind of activities we do perform. Okay, the manufacturing, or say production, distribution and exchange of goods and services. Don't leave this line don't leave this line to right and all. So let's read the definition once again, that an economic activity is an activity of providing, making, buying or selling of commodities or services by people to satisfy their day-to-day needs of life. And that satisfaction of day-to-day need of life is called the utility. That you guys will read in economics later chapters, that whatever the production or distribution or exchange of goods and services activities are done, they all create different forms of utility. And one person can earn money only if he is creating some utility. For example, thing is that for example, Tata company is like manufacturing some steels and irons. So you can say Tata company is generating the form utility from the iron ore to iron. They are making profit. In the same way, whatever the economic activity they are doing are like taking place in the economy or in the entire world, the outcome is that they are generating utility and all. So economic activities include any activity that deals with the manufacturing, distributing, or utilizing a product or services. So now next we have the non-economic activities. A non-economic activity is an activity performed with the purpose of rendering services to others without any consideration of financial gain. So remember, the basic or the key difference between the non-economic activity and the economic activity is that all the economic activities are done in order to gain this economic profit, or in order to get financial gain, you can say. But all the non-economic activities are done in order to gain other kinds of needs and objectives. We have discussed in last class that what the different objectives of a human being may have, like the economic objective, or you can say economic need, the physical need, the psychological need, the mental need, the social need. So if we categorize these needs into only two categories, so one will be the economical needs, and apart from all the kind of needs will be can be put into the second category, which is non-economical need. So all the non-economical activities do satisfy our non-economical needs or objectives, you can say, and all the economic activities do satisfy our economical need, and the economical need is only one thing, that acquiring wealth and to gain economic profit and all. Further, I've told you that in this since we are a commerce student, since we have to concerned about the gaining profit and the making the economy grow, so we'll just focus on the economic activities only. By saying so, I don't mean that the non-economic activities are not important. They are important for sure, but as of now, for a commerce student and as for the syllabus or for the subject concerned, the non-economic activity is not that much important to discuss about for a commerce student. Why would we discuss those activities which will not profit us, which will not benefit us financially? So for that objective only, in the first chapter, guys, understand the difference between these two kinds of activities, and in later chapters, all these topics are focused on the economic activities only, because economic activities are the only activities which helps to grow the economy, and being as a commerce student, we'll have to focus on that only. Further, we have the characteristics of the economic activities, that what makes it different from the non-economic activities. Okay, and in BST it is a long subject, like some people may find boring, because in that you have to learn a lot. So make sure there are some learning hacks while learning the commerce subject. How? That two topics, differences between two topics may be asked any point of time in any examination, or maximum differences may be asked. So make sure if you have covered or understood the characteristics of two different topics or two different items, for example, so on that particular basis you can easily understand differentiation as well, or you can learn the differentiation as well. So whenever you read any characteristics of any topic, do focus on that, because that characteristics will make you help you out to understand for the topics, like advantages, disadvantages, functions or role or differences, these only. So it's the same objective. We have the characteristics of economic activities over here. The first we can see the wealth producing activities. If I remove wealth from the picture of the economic activities, these activities will be non-economic activities. Only the first characteristics of economic activities which makes it differentiated from the non-economic activity is the motto or the objective of wealth production by gaining the economic, or you can say the financial gain. So what do we mean by economic gain? Remember that in economy, you guys will read in economics in later chapters that value, price, for example. So in an economy, if any item or any resource has some price, and if you are getting that resource after doing some activity, that means you are getting economic gain. So that gold, for example, the copper, silver, even money, for example, rice, whatever these things are, these all are economic goods, for example, because they all contain some price. The air, I repeat, the air, the oxygen that you guys take at home, there is not an economic activity. Why? Because we don't pay any money for that, for the air, for example. But if you want to have some food, for example, if you want to have some furniture, if you want to buy gold, silver, cloth, all these goods are economic activities, economic goods, for example. So if you get these goods after rendering some services by yourself, then this kind of then the phenomena or the situation of getting this economic goods in return of his services is known as the economic gain. So for example, I have worked for some people or some office. In the end of the month, the office paid me 10,000, for example. So that money is also an economic good, because it has value 10,000 rupees. That means I have got economic gain. For example, if I work for some farmer as laborer for their field, and after working for 1 month or 1 week or whatever the time period, if I'm getting some rice, not money, rice, then I'm also getting some economic gain. Why? Because rice has some price. The same concept you guys are going to learn in economics in later chapters. So the same thing over here, the wealth. All wealth in the economy has some economic value, some price and all. So the economic activities are undertaken to produce wealth. The main motto is that the person who is doing economic activity, his main objective or motto is to increase his wealth by getting economic gain. The wealth is produced by productive activities. Remember, we have discussed about the productive activities. They are the production, they are the manufacturing, they are the distribution, they are the exchange and all. Now next we have the production, maybe for the consumption of family members or for this, that many times farmers do produce some crops for their own consumption, not to sell in the market. That is for family consumption. But if that farmer is producing the crops and all to sell in the market, then in that particular case it will be for sure an economic activity, because after selling in the market he will get some money. So farmer may grow vegetables for his family consumption and for selling in the market. The produce sold in the market will fetch some income for the farmer, and that producing for selling in the market by farmer will be known as the economic activity. Now number two, we have satisfying human wants, for example. Now we have seen that I have told you with these productive activities, remember what we do, we simply generate utility, remember, utility. And this utility, the meaning of this utility word, you guys are going to understand economics very well, but as of now let me tell you that every commodity has some utility, because you guys use that particular commodity to satisfy your want. For example, you guys using cell phone to attend classes. That cell phone has utility, but if a cell phone gets dead and you can't use a particular cell phone, then that cell phone does not have utility. So all the economic activities are helpful, or they do generate some utility, so that you guys, so that consumers can by consumption they can derive utility from that only. So satisfying human want. So so economic activities satisfy human wants by creating these utilities like the farm utility, place utility, time utility, person utility. These all utilities we have in further chapters about these topics. So remember, these economic activities satisfy human wants. How? We lead in that only. The main aim of economic activities is to satisfy human needs. That human needs, remember. For example, you are selling agarbatti, for example. Now someone wants to fulfill his religious need. He wants to go temple and he wants to do dhoop batti and all. Now what you did, you are selling the agarbatti in front of temple. So what you are doing an economic activity, just because you are fulfilling other person's religious need. So all these activities satisfy human needs. Okay. Next we have for the needs. I'm again saying, if you have any doubts during the classes, you can simply post in that particular group only. Next we have the needs to be satisfied, maybe present or future. We also produce goods for future consumption as well. The Maruti company is producing cars right now, today as well, in order to supply in August, September. So those person will buy the car in August and September. The production has been started from today onwards only. So this satisfaction of human want can be present or can be future as well, but economic activity can be undertaken any point of time. So next we have, when a person undertakes a job to earn money, remember, and buy necessities for his family, then it will be satisfying present need. Why? Just because that person is buying some food that they are going to consume that day only, that moment of time only. So on the other hand, when a person saves money out of his current earnings for future for satisfying his future needs after retirement, there will be a plan for the future, and we can say over here that person is doing activity for satisfying his future needs only. So hope you people understood these two topics, these two features in that economic activities. The next feature what we have is the third feature, money income, remember. So what we say income. So I'll say the income means getting any economic resource. Money is also a resource, and apart from money, then other non-monetary resources are also available. For example, if you have worked for someone else, but right now, as of now, all people use money. But let's take an example that you have worked for some company, and in the end of the month, the company has paid you in gold. So that payment in gold will be known as non-monetary income, remember. Okay. And what we do, that money, when you guys will go to class 12 now, you guys have a chapter in macroeconomics, money. Well, you'll understand that money does not mean the 10,000 rupees, or say the note and currency and all. Anything which can be used as a medium of exchange, that will be known as money, for example. But yes, that the subcategorization of money includes two things: the currency and the other money as well. So gold is termed as the non-monetary, you can say, or the other kind of money, and the currency or the notes that we guys use for as of now for the transaction purpose, that is the sophisticated money we have. So what we do, we just measure the worth of an economic activity in terms of this monetary income only. Income is we are getting income. There's something we are receiving, or some economic resources are coming in after performing some economic activities. This means that only. So how do you how would you measure the worth of the economic activity? By measuring them into the monetary terms. For example, you have worked for some people or some office. In the end of the month, if that particular, for example, that office is paying you 20,000 rupees as salary, you can say my job or my time which I have given a particular office in the entire month worth 15,000 rupees. That means this economic activity worth 15,000 rupees. This helps us to measure the worth of economic activity because we get economic gain, economic resources after performing economic activities. So now I'm reading in that only. So all economic activities, these may be related to business, profession, on services, or you can say employment. We will read in this class only later on. Help in earning money income. I'm again saying money does not mean the currency or the note only, but anything which can be accepted as a medium of exchange, that will be known as money. So people undertake these activities to satisfy their family needs with the help of money and earn through productive activities. A living is possible with money income earned from economic activities. Now next we have number 4, development activities. So economic activities not only satisfy human wants but also become a basis for economic development of the society. Again this line, the economic development, you guys are going to understand maybe in class 11 as well, or some part of it in class 12 as well. So let me tell you that how an economic grow. An economy always grow by the production activity and the consumption activity. The more frequency will be of these activities, now the more production will be done in an economy, the more consumption will be done in economy. This production and consumption activity will further lead to the economic growth. Why? Because if someone is producing and the other person are consuming it as well, so both person will get some benefit. That person who is consuming, they are getting the utility benefit, that their wants are being satisfied. The person who is like producing the goods and services, they are getting their own economical need. There is a profit, for example. So if in an economy, the person will generate income, they will increase wealth, and their wealth in combined form, that will lead to the economic development of the entire nation. Remember, so the more business will be there in the India, the more business, the more production, the more India will grow. So non-economic activities does not help the economic growth directly. I'll say directly, remember, but all the economic activities which they help directly a nation to grow and to develop. For example, they are the basis. All the economic activities are the basis for the economic development. So when old needs are satisfied, the new needs crop up, and the businesses does have this kind of feature that their main job is to satisfy the human wants only by creating utilities. The economic resources are employed to purchase a new product, and this process helps in generating employment avenues and ultimately the money income. The more business will be, the more employment will be, the more money or the salary will be given to the people. The more salary, the more people will have the money in their hand, the more they will spend. For example, this is a chain we have in the economy. That all the economic activities do form a change, and we follow that chain only. Sorry. So in this way, the economic activities helps an economy or a nation to develop by providing the income or by employing the resources on an optimum level. So what we have, the next topic is the differentiation between the economic activities and non-economic activities. So before that, let me know in chat option that have you guys understood this topic that we have covered right now. Reply me in chat option fast. We have a group. I'm again saying we have a group, WhatsApp group, to post responses during the live classes and all. So just do one thing, go to that minimize this application, Teams application, and go to that particular group and post response that is in doubt. If you have no doubt, remember, if you have no doubt, type yes, and if you have any doubt, type no. Just reverse will be as of now because the questions are in different context. So just post yes if you don't have any doubt. Okay. Okay, fine. So, few people have posted their responses in the that particular group only. So I'll just request to I'll request all of you to post. Don't stay. Okay. Don't wait for don't wait for other people. Post. This question goes to individual to all the people. Okay. Now coming on to the differentiation between the economic and non-economic activities, I told you the nature or the characteristics of economic activities will help you out to understand the difference between the two. The first we have the objective. Remember, the main objective of a person behind doing this economic activities is to earn or increase his economic wealth, and second thing is that non-economic activities, for that only their objective by performing behind performing the non-economic activities, the objective is to satisfy the other kind of needs like psychological, mental, which does not involve any acquisition of money or economic gain. So now the second thing we have types, for example, that the activities performed in under economic activities can be categorized as the distribution, production, or exchange of goods and services. Remember, these activities combinedly termed as productive activities, and these activities further they simply generate utilities for the consumption purpose. But the other, if I say the non-economic activities, we cannot categorize any name, but yes, we can give some examples like playing, walking, because we have different kind of needs or objectives under non-economic activities. So it is not possible to give a single name. So we can simply give examples of the activities performed, like for example, cooking for family, like gossiping with friends, praying in temple, walking on road. Simply, these things are known. These things are the types of the non-economical activity. Now, what we have number three scope. In that, what we understand about by performing the economic activities, the two scopes can be identified over here. The first is the development of economy. That if we are performing economic activities, we simply help in development of the nation. The second, the satisfaction of human needs. Third, the generation of employment, and fourth, generation of income as well. So over here we have different types of activities as well: business, profession, and employment. We'll read further in this class only. So these activities take place either between an employer and employee, or between producer and customer, or between a professional and a client. Remember that if the activities are being performed between employer and employee, this kind of activity will be termed as employer, where a person is staff and another person is, for example, the boss, you can say. The second, producer and the, for example, consumer. This means kind of business activity where something is being produced and some people are purchasing that produced goods for their satisfaction of their want only. This means a business. The third, we have the professionals and the, for example, that client. Why? Because all the professionals people, they don't have customers, they have client. The doctors, CA, that lawyers, these all have client. Remember, we'll discuss later on this chapter. Now next, in coming to non-economic activities, these activities will take place between family members or between those persons who does not share any, for example, any legal relation, or you can say any financial relation. Like you and your friend, for example, they don't have any financial relation. But if you see an employer or employee, they have financial relation because the employer has to pay some amount of money if employee is working for him or her only. Next, we have the return. So what happens that after performing economic activities, the person who is performing economic activity, he gets some money or some economic resources in return for performing his activity. But in case of the non-economic activities, the return is the satisfaction of physical need, satisfaction of psychological need, satisfaction of mental need, and so on, for example. So these were the four differences between the non-economic activities and economic activities. So again, I'm asking you, just post in chat option that have you understood or not. Do it fast. If you have doubt, post yes. Remember, if you have doubt, post yes. If you don't have doubt, post no. The question I'm changing, like if you have doubt, post yes, and if you don't have doubt, post no. Govind Maharaj, don't post in Microsoft Team application because I'm using some other window on my laptop. So we have a WhatsApp group, post in that only. So next, moving on, next topic, that types of economic activities. So now we are going to focus on the types of economic activities, specifically on the nature of performing a job. So before that, let me tell you that after completing your education, take it practically, huh? Don't take it theoretically as of now. So after completing your education, remember you guys are going to go and work for someone, work for yourself only, or you guys are going to make money. So how you guys are going to make money? That the answer has been given you by in this chapter only. So either you guys will do some business, either you guys will engage in some profession, and either you guys will do some employment activity. Either of these three. There can't be any four type of activity that you guys are going to perform. So why you guys are learning this business, profession, and employment? So all the students of commerce can get an idea that after completing their education, what they want to be in future, what they want to do in future, what kind of economic activity they want to perform. Because in this chapter only, the subject is teaching you people that what are the options available, what are the risks involved, what are the features or characteristics of particular type of economic activity over here. So they did very clearly, and if you have any doubt, just discuss in the chat option. But now coming to the theoretical part, that all the economic activities can be categorized only into three major subcategories. The first could be the business, second could be the profession, third could be the employment and all. So now before moving on to this topic, let me tell you, out of these three categorization of economic activity, the first activity, which is business, it has a wider scope compared to the profession and employment. The basis of the economy, I'm again saying the basis of the economy, the very basis is the business. Okay, so this business is particularly socially desirable, that all person want to do business, for example, and that business is the only economic activity which generates farm utility and all. So we have a brief description, a brief idea about these three in this chapter only. But but after this chapter, from second chapter onwards till last chapter, we have 24 chapters in commerce. That 23 chapters, like separating the first chapter, will talk about the business only. So we have no discussion about profession and employment in later chapters, because this particular subject is focused on the business part only. So right now we have in first chapter we have brief description, but remember in second chapter we'll enter in full-fledged in the topic of business only. So right now, how do we define the business? Let me first do the definition that we can discuss on that. So business is defined as an economic activity. Remember, we're reading economic activity. So business is a part of economic activity only, which involves regular transfer or exchange of goods and services. And this regular transfer, remember, constitute a basic feature of the business. That remember, this transaction or transfer has to be a regular basis. Further, we'll discuss about in second chapter we'll discuss about the features of business. In that, you guys will read that whatever the activities undertaken or done in business, they are regular in nature. That they are not performed once in a week or once in a month. They are done on a regular basis. So we remember the first features, it is an economic activity. The second, whatever the activities are performed like production, distribution, and transfer, exchange of goods and services, they are regular in nature. Now second, we have, remember that for a price, I've told you that in economics you guys are going to read in further chapters that all economic goods, all economic activities, I'm saying again economics, remember, they contain some price, some value. So all goods and services are either produced, transferred, or distributed or exchanged containing some price only. Why? Because the person who is doing so, he has an object of earning profit and acquiring wealth. And how he will acquire wealth or will do so? Remember, by producing the productive activities, or you can write production and distribution. So how to define this business in a simple way? That all businesses are economic activity in which regular transfer of goods and services are involved for a price, and the object behind performing the business is to earn profit and acquire wealth through productive activities, which is distribution, and for example for production, distribution, and transfer of goods and services. This is the definition we have for business, in which we contain all the aspects of business and the features as well. Now second, we have profession. So profession is somewhat differentiated or different from the business. Both are economic activities. They generate from the same origin, but compared to the business, compared to the employment, the profession has some different features, different line of activity. So in that particular profession, what happens that whenever a person is performing a professional activity, he has to acquire some special knowledge for that field only. So for example, if a doctor is performing some surgery or some medication activity, for example, so that the doctor has specialized knowledge in that. He has complete knowledge, which knowledge no person belonging to other field will have, but that doctor may easily do a particular business. So in that profession, all the people who are like doing the particular activity or who are engaged in that, they all have some specialized knowledge of that particular. A lawyer has a special knowledge of legal things and all. A chartered accountant has a professional knowledge or sophisticated knowledge, or you can say formal knowledge about the accountancy and all. A doctor has the same special knowledge in medical field. And second, we have in that particular profession that no person can enter into the particular profession any point of time having any qualification. No, they can be. They can't be. They can't be. Why? Because they restrict entry. In order to enter into a particular profession, the prescribed qualification you will have to possess with you. That, for example, that only you can enter in a particular profession by like if you're not if you have not read the commerce or the accounting subject in your bachelor's, or you can say 11 12, you cannot do chart accountancy course. If you have not read the biology, for example, in class 11 12, you cannot do MBBS, for example. These are the things that makes the entry in the particular field restricted. Number three, we have, if you want to be a profession, or whoever professions are there in the economy, they all have to attain or like attend or gain some formal education, and after that the practical training as well. Both are needed, not a single one. The second, if you are professional, you have all the professional bodies in the country, on the entire globe. They have professional association who help to investigate or help to make inventions or discoveries for the particular field only. So all the professionals, for example, the doctors, CA, they will have to be a member of their particular association. In India, for chartered accountancy, we have ICAI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and for medical personnels, we have that the IMA, Indian Medical Association. For that lawyers, we have the All India Bar Association. So all lawyers will have to be a member of All India Bar Association. All chartered accountants will have to be a member of ICAI, in short I'm saying, and all doctors will have to be a member of IMA. This is a compulsory, you can say, rule for them only, that they can get the benefit of discoveries and inventions of that associations and all. So how do we define the particular profession? By mentioning these features only, that profession is an economic activity that requires special knowledge and skills to be applied by individuals for earning their living, and they render service. Remember, not they render production, they don't do something else, they render services. Individuals engaged in profession are known as professionals. These professionals have to follow the guidelines or codes of conduct laid down by professional bodies and all. So in the last, we have the third kind of economic activity, which is employment. Simple kind of economic activity where one person works for some other person. And I've mentioned definition as well. The person who is working, he will be known as the employee, and the person for whom he is working, for example, that employee is working, that person will be known as the employer only. And that is a very simple topic. Going to read about the features of this topic only. If you want to read, in the book it is given clearly, and after reading, if you have any doubt in the features of that employment, you can discuss with me in the next class only by posting your doubt in chat option. So we had few topics as well, like the difference between the business, profession and employment, the last topic of this chapter. So as of now, like we are exceeding time. So what I'll do, I'll simply cover this differentiation next class only, or if you want to cover, because we have read about the business profession, their features as well. So on the basis of their features, you can simply make a differentiation or distinction between these two. And if you need help, next class I'll ask you people, then only if you say, I'll simply cover this part only, or if not, if you have understood by yourself this differentiation, we can simply move on to the next chapter, which is number 2, the classification of business activities and all. Okay, so I'm just ending this class over here. So what you guys do, just go to that particular chat option on the WhatsApp group that we have created for the live classes, and just post a response for the first, that do you have any doubt for today's classes. If you don't have any doubt, remember, post no, and if you have any doubt, simply post yes, so I could address the doubt in next class only. Okay, so I've got 7 replies till now on the WhatsApp. Fine, so do what? Just also post your roll number, so I can simply record your attendance as well for the day. Post your roll number as well in chat.